The Stoics teach that our first task each day is the governance of our own soul. Before we engage with the world, we must clarify our footing within it. Marcus Aurelius began his mornings not by reacting to messages or crises, but by returning to principle. His meditations, written in the early hours, formed a foundation for his thoughts, allowing him to center his mind before the day's demands arose. In those quiet hours, when chaos, noise, and distraction seek to invade, we set the course for our day. By beginning with reason, order, and silence, we consciously choose a different path, one grounded in reflection rather than reaction. This power of choice is one of humanity's most effective tools in managing our attention and cultivating inner peace. As we navigate the complexities of life, taking a moment to govern our own thoughts and intentions can transform not only our day, but also the way we interact with the world around us. It invites clarity and purpose into our actions, allowing us to respond rather than react to the circumstances we face. Protecting this first hour is not a superstition, it is a strategic approach. The gates of the mind are guarded while they are still gathering focus, as what enters during this time forms the foundation for all that follows. In the present age, the allure of the digital realm is constant. Notifications jostle for attention like street vendors, and opinions often disguise themselves as news. Feeds overflow with information. Yet, Stoicism does not encourage rejection of the world, it advocates for mindful engagement with it. In moments of stillness, whether through writing, reading, or simply embracing silence, important questions arise. What tasks are essential for the day? What principles will guide actions? What judgments must be upheld? Challenges will inevitably emerge. They always do. Yet, the aim is to remain centered, not flinching in the face of adversity. The goal is to be prepared, not reactive. While the modern day often commences with a pull towards screens, the Stoic day begins with the alignment of the soul. Thus, the individual reconnects with their true self before the external world imposes its identity. A Stoic is not free by circumstance but by command of the self. This, Epictetus insists, is the measure of liberty, mastery over one's own mind, the ability to control one's thoughts and attention in the face of constant digital distractions. And yet, in the digital age, this mastery is under siege. We reach for our phones as if they are neutral tools. But they are not. They are designed, intentionally, powerfully, to command our attention. Notifications are bait. Scrolls are engineered to be endless. What begins as a choice becomes a compulsion. And so we must ask, who is using whom? The ancient Stoics contended with public forums, political noise, and street distractions. But never before has attention itself been so aggressively monopolized. We are not merely informed by these devices, they shape us. And often, unconsciously so. Marcus Aurelius warned against being pulled like a puppet by every distraction. Do not waste what remains of your life in speculating about your neighbors, he writes, unless you are doing it with reference to some aspect of the common good. The screen is not our enemy, but our reflex to touch it, without thought, without aim, is. Each glance may seem trivial, but the aggregate shapes our mind's default setting: passive, reactive, fractured. The Stoic knows that nothing is truly free if it costs you your agency. So we return to the practice. We pause before reaching. We choose presence over compulsion. We set boundaries, not to reject the world, but to meet it on our terms. By setting these boundaries, we take control of our digital interactions, ensuring that they serve us rather than the other way around. Each day, we decide, shall I be ruled by my devices, or shall I rule myself? We use the tool, yes, but never at the cost of becoming one. Begin with yourself. Begin with silence. This could mean not immediately checking your phone upon waking, or taking a few moments of quiet reflection before diving into the digital noise. Begin before the feed loads. And in that quiet moment, reclaim your sovereignty. By starting your day with stillness and intention, you reclaim control over your digital life, ensuring that you are the one using the tool, not the other way around. And now, let's draw these principles for the Stoic, formed not just in the fire of ancient words but in the flickering light of our modern screens. Each principle is drawn with the quiet discipline of discernment, meant not only to be read, but returned to. Principle 1. Begin with the soul, not the screen. Your first act each morning is not to answer the world but to anchor yourself. The Stoic does not outsource mood to headlines or serenity to a feed. Instead, they return inward before stepping outward. In the early hour, attention is sovereign. To offer it first in silence is not an escape but a calibration. Begin with stillness, and you begin with strength. Principle 2. You become what you attend to. Epictetus warned, impressions arise unbidden, but we choose what to assent to. Modern impressions are hyper-engineered, loud, frequent, insistent. The Stoic disciplines their attention. Not in retreat but in conscious selection. What you look at, scroll through, dwell on, molds the soul. Guard your gaze as you would your values. Principle 3. Control the first hour. Before the day pulls you, place your hands on the reins. The first hour is sacred space. It builds your foundation. Noise may wait. Crises will arrive. But in that first hour, if you return to principle, you are less likely to be shaped by panic. You are the sculptor, not the clay. Principle 4. Use tools, don't be used by them. A phone is a tool. But left unchecked, it becomes a master. The Stoic examines, am I choosing or reacting? Each notification, each swipe, do they serve me or distract me from myself? The measure of freedom is not having options, it's exercising judgment. Technology must remain subordinate to reason. Principle 5. Freedom is attention, directed. True liberty is not found in detachment from society but in command of focus. The Stoic is not scattered. They are selective. They walk through the noise untouched, not because they're ignorant, but because they're anchored. Attention is not infinite. Each moment spent unconsciously is a moment surrendered. Choose where you look. That is the essence of choice. Principle 6. Fires will come. Be ready. The world does not wait for you to be calm. It rushes in, alerts, demands, fires of all kinds. The Stoic knows they cannot control the fire, only how they enter it. So they prepare, not in paranoia, but in posture. They greet the storm with a settled mind, trained in stillness before the blaze began. Principle 7. Reclaim the space between thought and action. Between stimulus and response lies a space. In it lives reason. The Stoic expands that space through reflection and discipline. Even in a digital age, this pause is still ours. Before the tap, the reply, the scroll, breathe. Not to hesitate, but to choose. Principle 8. Repetition is the real practice. You will forget. You will scroll before you breathe. You will react. But the Stoic is not discouraged. They return. And return again. Not because they fail but because they are faithful. To reclaim the self is not a single act, but a rhythm.